Hi there, welcome to tonight's live. My topic today is about social anxiety and how to build confidence when you're going into social settings. Now, we've all been out in some location where we've seen that person that is oozing with confidence. They just seem to effortlessly fit in everywhere, be likable, own their space, and just seem happy. And that kind of person has the kind of energy that is very attractive to other people. We all can appreciate that confidence is one thing that makes other people attractive. So especially when it's like that calm, kind, caring kind of confidence, not the kind of arrogant and cocky kind of confidence, like a genuine confidence. So they're owning their space, they know who they are, and they've got that good self-esteem, good self-worth. And I'll go into all that in the rest of the talk as I go along. So how good would it feel if you're somebody that knows what social anxiety is like, or you feel really awkward and uncomfortable in social settings as far as even having panic attacks and anxiety? Then I'd like you to just imagine how it would feel to be that confident person and be able to handle yourself calmly in any group of people in any situation, because that's what would feel good. It would feel good to be able to go anywhere and know that you've got this. You're fine. You can walk into any room, any place, any conversation, and you just feel like you belong, and you're not. There's no levels of heightened stress or worry or self-consciousness. So I remember me personally in my work, I've had to network a lot, and there were situations and times where I've been in places I always felt like I was just pretending to be up in a group of real grown-ups, and I often felt like I was an imposter, like I don't really belong here. I'm just sort of like camouflaging in or trying not to be noticed in a room full of people that really did belong there. And that can be very, very common in professional situations, but it causes me to feel anxious, to feel stressed, to feel worried. And in those contexts, having had to stand up and speak was really uncomfortable, and that was often what I had to do. I remember having to present to a big table full of men at one point, and everything just went white, and I had to put my hands on the table, and I'm just lucky that I didn't actually pass out. So it can feel like you're the only one that goes through social anxiety, or, that you're the only one that lacks confidence. It might feel like other people are all relaxed or comfortable, all more competent, more, confident than you are. But I know from speaking to a lot of people that even people who look confident can often on the inside really crushing themselves. So the outside doesn't always match the inside. So you can have extroverted people, or people that look like they're then very outwardly outgoing, that are, on the inside not feeling the way that they're presenting on the outside. And then, obviously, if somebody's introverted, it can be more obvious if somebody is shy or looks nervous or that kind of thing. The bravado on the outside doesn't always match the inside. So thankfully for me, the days of having that kind of crushing self, doubt is behind me. A lot of it was, for me, I didn't know how to talk politics. I didn't know how to talk sport. I didn't know what was going on in the world. I'm not really interested in, things that a lot of people talk about in those kind of small talk settings. And that can feel really awkward when you're left out of a conversation, but that doesn't seem to bother me anymore. I just own it. I just say, look, I'm just not interested. I don't follow. I don't watch sport. I don't, keep up to what's going on. In fact, I try not to watch TV much at all and prefer to watch stuff on YouTube that interests me. So it all boils down essentially to how comfortable you are being you and what kind of relationship you have with yourself. Just recently, I was reading one of Eckhart Tolle's books. In the first opening kind of chapter, he describes a moment when he was about 30 years old. He'd had depression, severe depression, for most of his life. And he reached a point where he felt like he could not live another day with himself. And he writes about the moment that he realized that in order to not be able to stand living another day with himself, there had to be more than one aspect of him. So there had to be the him that was observing, and then the actual him that he was living with. So the me and the myself, the me, myself, and I, as they say. So the reason that I'm mentioning that is that our relationship that we have with ourselves determines the way we feel about showing up as us. So the confidence that I have in being me depends on my relationship that I have with myself. If I don't respect myself or like myself, out of myself, and even like in relationship, when we relate to ourselves, relationship is the action of relating to ourselves. If I relate to myself in a way that's deprecating, discouraging, critical, I ignore myself, I'm not positive or uplifting or encouraging, then that's going to show up in how I feel in a social setting. It's kind of like if I was going somewhere and I had to bring a plate of food, and I was bringing a plate of food that I didn't like I don't like the plate it's on, I don't really like the food, and I'm going to kind of be worried, like other people might not like it too. It might not be acceptable. I might be a bit embarrassed about it, and just worried about how it's going to be received and perceived, and I might hide it off in the corner somewhere and apologize. Oh, sorry about that. I burned it a bit. It's not very nice, like that kind of thing. So the aim would be like, I hope no one notices what I brought. I just kind of slide it under the radar. And that's kind of how I like metaphors. So I'm relating that to how we can feel about presenting ourselves in a social setting or a social situation when we have social anxiety. A lot of it can be that fear that people are going to look at us, there goes my dog again, look at us and judge us, reject us, not like us, that we're not good enough, we don't fit in, we don't compare, we don't meet other people's judgments. Because if I'm thinking something bad about myself, I'm going to expect that other people are going to view me the same way or think badly about me. It's just like that plate of food. If I don't like it, I don't think that other people will like it either. So it's really important for me to be able to feel acceptable, likable, and feel proud of who I am in order to be confident, because my inner dialogue needs to build confidence, not break it down. So if I'm saying to myself, or I'm imagining to myself, or like however I communicate with myself, if my internal communication is, oh, you don't look very good, you sound stupid, you look stupid, why did you wear that? Oh, I wish I didn't wear that. No one ever is interested really in what I have to say. I'm boring. Oh, look, they're looking at you, they're talking about you. Worrying about, oh, should I have even come here? Oh, you don't really belong here. If I'm kind of having that kind of internal dialogue, that's going to really affect how I feel. And when we lack social confidence, it means that we're in a toxic relationship with our own identity, with who we are, who we relate to as the me, the I am that's within us. So I want you to consider for a moment how often you actually are deprecating and dismissing and diminishing yourself. You're in your own relationship with yourself, and how different it might be if instead of wondering whether you look fat in a dress or whatever, if you had a fantastic relationship with yourself and you said and thought encouraging, uplifting things internally with your own internal dialogue. Things like, you look great, I'm so glad you're here, I'm proud of you, you're likable, people love you, I love you, you're interesting, you belong. Anywhere you go, you've got the confidence to show up. You know you can do this. You're a likable person. Everyone likes you, everyone will like you. And if they don't like you, who cares? Because I like you. You're smart, you're fun, you're funny. Everyone's lucky that you're here. How different does that feel? And how different is the confidence when you hear those different words that are uplifting and encouraging and supportive? So that's the difference with the relationship itself, and it will be replicated or reflected back to us in life. So whatever my relationship is with myself will be reflected back to me. That's how I'm going to show up in the world, and that's what the world's going to reflect back at me. So if I feel, worthless or unheard or left out or excluded or all that sort of stuff in myself, that I don't belong somewhere, I'm going to project that out and receive it back. So I have this rule, and this is a little tip for you. I have this rule for uncomfortable situations, because in life you'll be faced with situations that are uncomfortable. I mean, stuff happens, shit goes down, and then we're left with like a situation where you have to face somebody that's not going to be pleasant. It's going to be awkward. So what I do when there's that kind of situation, so think about, where you might feel inferior, intimidated, uncomfortable, stuff like when you have to go somewhere and your ex is going to be there, or you have to meet your kid's new stepmother or step-parent, or if your partner as an ex and maybe they're coming to a family event, and or you've had a fight with someone, or you've got to show up after you embarrassed yourself or whatever. I have this rule: if somebody's going to feel uncomfortable, let it be them. And I say that to myself. If someone's going to feel uncomfortable in this situation, let it be them. It's not going to be me. I refuse to be the person that feels uncomfortable, because you have to think that if you're uncomfortable, they probably are too. Let them feel uncomfortable. So what I have done in those situations, yes, they're real situations that I've been in, I'm the one who shows up and walks straight over with a smile on my face, and I hug them. I literally will walk up to someone and I just put myself in, like, that thought, oh, Naomi's going to be there, it might be uncomfortable. I just walk straight on over and embrace the situation and the person and everything. And they're only human. Like, what are they going to do? Fear's in your mind, fear's in my mind, fear's in all our minds. If we think a certain thing, we're going to create fear. Every single time I've done it, it's gone well. I don't recommend going up and hugging your ex. But yeah, definitely walk up and smile and be the greeter, be the embracer of the situation. You have the confidence. You have the confidence in you. You just need to build your relationship with yourself so that you see yourself and know yourself as the person that can do this. Like, I didn't feel like was that person, but the more I told myself I was, the more I said, you won't be uncomfortable in this situation. You're going to be the confident one. You're going to let the other person feel uncomfortable. You're going to be the discomfort in their day, not the other way around, and held myself up and embraced it. Then I actually became capable of doing that. And you do something once and you will realize that you can do it again. So it's kind of like exposure therapy. So it's like, you confidently take a leap of faith and it goes well, and then you realize that, hey, I can do this again. So it's about changing how you relate to yourself. Social anxiety is about changing how you see yourself, how you perceive yourself, how you speak to yourself, how you relate to yourself, how you relate to the thoughts around what's around you. So what other people are thinking, saying, doing, just change it. That they like you, they love you. They're not talking about you. They're just people. You've got this. You're good. You're wanted. You're needed. Even if no one in this room wants you, you are still okay. And I want you. Find that inner confidence that you were born with. You were born with confidence. The world's crushed you down. You've been told something or seen something or felt something or heard something that crushed you down. You've experienced something that crushed you down. You can build yourself up, and how you can do that is create this internal relationship with yourself. Know who you are, learn who you are. And remember, no one puts baby in the corner. That's out of that, what Patrick Swayze says that in Dirty Dancing. One of my friends says it. She says, no one puts baby in the corner. It's time to step up, step out, find your inner star, in your inner heart, the good in you, the worthy, wonderful human being that you are, and relate back to that in a positive, loving, kind, caring, supportive way, so that you can find your confidence and step out into the world, because you are worth it. You definitely are worth it. I hope that's been helpful. Let me know in the comments how you have changed your relationship with yourself, how you've recognized how the me, myself, and I were not getting along and not supporting each other, and maybe even pulling yourself down on the inside and saying things that were making the world scary and terrible, and how you've changed that inner dialogue and your inner talk, and found that you are not able to do things that you previously were not able to do. And of course, then there's, healing and sessions and all that kind of stuff that you're able to access as well. But these tips are just there for you to understand, and to start to bring awareness and light to things that you may not be aware of, and then to be consciously aware of how you can change your experience of the world, yourself, and other people. Have a beautiful day.